Hello winners and welcome to this weekly Forex forecast for EURUSD, USD, Pound Yen, Gold, USDCAD, US oil. This week we're going to go through entries, targets, stop losses, support and resistance, and risks that might be relevant for each pair. Then we also are bulls on dollar, bulls on yen, and we will see what kind of setups we might be looking at for next week. My name is Ewinningstrategy, Forex trader, economist, and mentor. I do help people, and in the description below there is a link to my Discord channel. If you want to join there for free, that would be awesome, because this week you are able to get 1 hour with me if you want my help. And so it's basically just to sign up and you're ready. Then, trading Forex is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Past performance is not indicative of future results. That means whatever has happened in the past doesn't need to happen in the future. That means you should have low risk, but also high risk, high reward. So there's potentially money to be made or potentially money to be lost. Don't blow accounts and stop way before you do that. Okay, let's go to the charts. As we can see on EURUSD, we have had a high, a low, a new lower high of this resistance here, turning support. No, support turning resistance. Then we have a new low here. So this uptrend is no longer uptrend. This downtrend is, we don't know if it's actually going to go lower. But since we are bulls on the USD, we're looking for any sell setups. So for this week, we have had this as our sell entry. We have had this as our sell entry. And we have had this as our sell entry. So 1, 2, 3 entries. Now we have a new high. I find that to be challenging and not what I really wanted to see. But if you see that's the start of the sell area for next week, I would be okay, fine. I can agree to that as a Friday high, but then I need a new low before I do anything else. So this webinar does not contain any investment advice and should not be considered to be so. It's only for educational purposes. And as you and me we all know, we don't know the future. I don't know the future, but I can see technically and fundamentally and give my view on that. But it's totally up to you to trade or not. I'm not going to ask you to do anything you should not be doing. I don't know your situation, and that's all. And I would rather you be on demo for a whole year than lose money for a whole year. So that's the bear. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you as an entry point is, I would say, in this area here. If it goes way up here, I am not so interested anymore. So this is kind of, if it breaks above, I would be considered to at least get out or wait for it to turn again. I would then wait for a new low, then pull back, then sell it again. Target for this week is 606. What is it? 10680 area down here. Even though that's the target for the week, I believe we're going to go lower than that because this week has been a bit rangy. So I believe that we're going to go lower than that also, based on past performance. Also, stop loss should be around 100, so that's okay. So let's do 75. 75 pips. That is at 0.965. That's your stop loss, and then target for bulls is up at 110.20. But also, if you're a bull, you kind of want it to come back down again here in this area here, down in this area here, kind of, would you call it head and shoulders maybe? Yeah, so something like that maybe then, and then higher. but that sets up the vulnerability. Though this is okay for buyers to come down to this price of the monthly buyer price for EURUSD, but this makes me not interested. Though it's a new high, that's interesting. So you would like to see a new high at least, or down here, and then go higher up to 1020. But if it goes down here, look for any reversals, but if you don't see anything, don't do anything. It is still bearish. The bullish trend is broken for how I see it, so you should really be cautious. But of course, if it starts going higher, you make pullbacks, you can start looking into it, and that's your target. And resistance areas are definitely this one down here, and this one up here is potentially one. But also once that's broken, we have this one up here at 1150. That sounds amazing. Good. So you all got it. That's the entry for buyers. This is the entry for sellers at 108.90 down to 106.80. Okay, stop loss on that one was there. Stop loss on this one is, just want to make sure I always do this right. Yeah, that's good. 75 pips. It should be less than 1% risk per trade. That means that if 75 pips is too much for you, then you should either lower your risk or have less position or one position at all. But yeah. So what this is really worries me. Also, this worries me because this is not necessarily the very best reversal of a trend I've ever seen. And this is kind of more consolidation to go where. And this is kind of a double bottom. But since I'm bull on dollar and I'm bear on pound, I am going to trade it as it's bullish, no bearish, until it no longer is. So what's my line in the sand? If it ever goes above 25.72, I would consider to be bullish again. But also my stop loss is up here at 26.50. So of course, once it's in this area, I will consider to do it. Just close it. But until then, we're still in and on and game on. As on euro, this seems to be the resistance, and then 2500-ish area, 2500 area, and then going down to at least 2332, potentially lower. Also see that if we now break lower from here, I don't see that this is a potential trend line we're supposed to hold, because I feel like it's more that one. It's hold, it's broken, tried to get a pullback back to it, couldn't, and then it went lower after that. So I believe that once it goes lower, I don't know where, but we are definitely maybe going down to 119. That's at least my trade plan, and then we are looking for this one to continue until May. So that's for 2 weeks now. For the next 2 weeks, I believe this one's going down. Now you can shoot me if I'm wrong, but it's a trade plan, it's a hypothesis. I might be wrong, I might be correct. As a buyer, you would be looking for a break above here, and then buy into this area, and then up to 127. Also, you need the break before buying. You cannot wait for it to come back down to 24.50, even though that's in the best price for this week. I don't think that if it comes down to this next time again, that it would be a bull, but I don't know the future. But I would much more technically be confident with a new high than a new low. Okay? Sounds awesome to me. Stop losses is as always now around 75 or 50 or 100. So if you're entering here, 75 is up at that area I was talking about at 126. Okay, good. Then as a buyer, you would then do the same thing. 75 down here. Okay, so that's a bit more vulnerable trade since this range is bigger than 75. Okay, that's just the risk you have. And if it turns down again, you might not be so interested anyways. So if it goes to stop loss, leave it, go away. Go away. Okay, so that was the entry, that was the targets, that was the targets, that was the stop losses. Support and resistance in these areas is, of course, we can go up to 127 resistance. So that's kind of maybe where where we're actually going. Also, this is acting as support of this one, but once this is broken, what I believe, hope for it will be broken, it will go lower. But if it doesn't, this is holding as support to go higher. And then resistance is up here at 127.60. For pound yen, we have, yeah, I don't know if we're turning lower, but that's what my plan was, at least for this week. But it's kind of a new low here. So this is what we were trading last week. We're saying this is a new low here. This is the pullback. So range, new low, pullback, sell. And then we kind of didn't make a new low again. Almost made a new high again, which kind of a new entry for me. But so we're still range bound. The lack of selling pressure makes me worried short term, but also fine. So where we exited this week, we are looking into selling it as we are bold on yen. Yen is the one driving this yen pairs. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And then we're looking into at least taking it down to 133. And then we are at least thinking of 135 won't be hit. But that's if you a buyer. So for sellers, we're thinking, this is the entry. Then we went a new low, pullback, sell again, second entry down to 133. We also believe this one is going to continue until end of April, beginning of May at least, maybe mid-May, maybe June. So what we're thinking here is for it to turn lower, take profit, watch for the pullback, take profit, and then we kind of make ourselves way down. What's our target? Are we going back down to 25? Maybe not as 25, but I believe maybe 130 is potential for sellers. Even though we've had this massive sell-off and this correction, and the correction is kind of fading off, that's kind of what I want to see here. But if it doesn't, it's just a hypothesis. If it breaks higher, okay, we will try next time. Nothing is worse than that, or better than that. And then stop loss is above here, above previous structure. I will say that. And then, as a buyer, you would like to see a high above these ones, pull back then, and not until then are you allowed to think, feel, or anything about buying pound yen. Okay? You need to be in a bullish trend, and right now it's trying to go lower. Very important for you. Targets are here, stop loss is here. If you're a buyer, stop loss should be maybe down here then. I guess that's maybe a very big stop loss, but still, okay, yeah, 80, okay, fine, you can do that. And so stop loss is down here of 75 pips. Okay, fine. It all depends on your entry. Don't be too greedy, don't chase it, don't FOMO, just let it come back to this high here. If it breaks higher and it closes above, that's a different thing. What else do I want to tell you about? I think I'm done with pound yen. Let's go to gold. Goldie, gold diggers, gold diggers, gold diggers. I believe that this potentially can be the buy zone. This is the buy zone for the week, but is it for the month? Well, we took profit here last week. Congratulations for that. You want a pullback. This one is on the greater side. I would say this is an okay pullback down here. then I would like to see a high for continuation of a very strong bullish trend, okay? Now it shows a weakness. Also, we have two pairs, two currencies here, or two players who is strong. Gold is strong, dollar is strong or supposed to be strong. And gold strong is actually why it went down. So for me, for this one to go higher, I'm like, okay, so the pullback is greater than this pullback. This is what I was talking about. Just a minor one, then higher. Okay. We have a greater one here. So I believe that this might be even greater. If we're coming back down to 60-60, it's definitely looking out to a double top instead. So this should be really your station to go higher. And if it doesn't, if it breaks lower, then you should not be in it. Even in this downtrend, you should be looking into higher highs, higher low before you enter. So don't blindly enter because you find it. I even said go buy. I don't give you investment advice, by the way. But also, this is now short-term lower. So don't chase price and don't enter into trades. I wouldn't do myself. Entry, stop losses, stop losses. If you enter down here, 100 is very little in this market, by the way. So if you take 100, I think it should be a small loss for you, not a great loss for you. Then you shouldn't be in this market. Because this could be, this 100 points down or whatever it is a small breakout kind of catching stop losses or whatever you call that conspiracy theory. It's within the more normal move of this one going 100 pips, 100 points lower. So it's kind of, I would be better to have it up here than say if it ever comes back down again, then it's not valid as a higher low. Then maybe it's a double bottom. Okay, then that makes it more risky. So maybe you don't want it to make a double bottom like that on this small trend. That may break lower instead. Okie dokie. As a buyer, that was that. As a seller, you're like, oh, I want to come back up to 170. And at 170, you are ready to sell. Sell, 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 sell. Okay? That's where you have your entry up in this area or up between 1700 and 1710. Then you take it lower down to at least 62.40. That was your target here, and then that's your target up here. Choose your direction, don't sell and buy, and also be very strict about yourself. When you're wrong, you're wrong. Don't lose more than you can afford, and have a consistent trade plan, as in, have you done 20 trades already on demo that proves your strategy? If you don't have that, you shouldn't be alive. You should have a proven track record of previous trades that would show you where you should have your stop loss. Is it 50? Is it 75? Is it 100? Is it 200? That's too much. So where should you have your stop loss? That should be proven in your demo trading. And if you don't have it, you should start making it. And it isn't for any particular. It's not for a bad reason, or it's not out of the blue. Sorry, it's not out of the blue that I have said 75 pips. Might do your research on that one. So USDCAD with dollar bull and dollar and CAD bears. So we want this to go higher. This move here is great. This may be saying the move was too great. But even though oil yesterday made a new low, this should go higher. So for me, I believe this might be more like a dollar weakness, finding a lower entry before going higher. But also, this is support. Does it go lower to touch this support again? I will resistance. I will be. I don't know. I don't like that. Okay, so I really want this to turn higher. Don't go lower. Do something to go higher. And if it doesn't, I'm no longer interested. Because if it comes down here again, I don't see that as a good. Then it's more like a double bottom kind of a range again thing, more than a trend of a new trend that is strong, healthy, going higher. Okay. So then we have sellers. Sellers are, that's your entry without a doubt. I don't know else if you saw that one, but that's your entry. You have your kind of range, double bottom, double top, triple top, lower low. Interesting, very important. Pullback, ready to go. But you're selling in potentially a new bullish trend. Okay. Where's your target? Your target is back down to 37.77. Okay. Then if you are a buyer like me, we're looking into 142.69 or higher. We also believe that this one is going to continue until end of April, beginning of May, mid-May, something like that. It all depends when it turns around, and I don't know when it turns around because the price action will tell me when it turns around. So it's just a hypothesis. Because we have a new high now, and this is a higher low, or whatever the high low is. That's what we're looking for. But you can be wrong. I can be wrong. Fine. What else have I told you about now? Then I want to tell you about US oil. Very fast, very quickly. I'm talking too much. Pullback, sell. Okay. Oh, okay. Now you need a reversal here, people. Okay. This is a reversal. Okay. Double bottom, higher high, higher low, knock. Didn't work out. And this is what I'm talking about when it comes down again. That doesn't make it very bullish anymore. And then it fails to make a new high, and then okay. That means this move here needs to spend longer time, but it can shoot up like a rocket. But for that to happen, looks less and less and less and less likely. We were supposed to go high here. Didn't happen. We were supposed to go high here. Didn't happen. And now we're turning lower. Below 20. We haven't been below 20 since 2001. Were you even born in 2001? That's the question. So it's so long time ago, you potentially couldn't be born at that time. And most definitely not trading at that time. So, if you're old like me, we have been here before, but it's a long time ago. So that makes this weak. This makes it going for a sell. This makes $10 more likely, maybe 15. But the lower we get, the more likely it is for a deal. Now they will start talking again. Now it will spike up. Your risk is still high. Okay? We don't have a clear uptrend at the moment, so you shouldn't be buying it. It can go up like a ton of, like a rocket that is sent out of SpaceX, but we don't know until it happens. Okay? So right now I am actually just saying leave it, because it's 18. We're at $18. So it's $18 now back to break even or low. No, zero. Okay, fine. Then what about, isn't it better to be looking for the bull setups when it goes bullish? Because $18 is, yeah, the difference between 42 and 20 something. Why can't I even think about it myself? Okay. Okay. Isn't that a better deal? Instead of going towards zero. So, and then we're going back to 60 at some point. So that's $40 difference. Okay. So for me, that's where we're heading at least. So I would say that wait for it to turn around. It hasn't yet. If you have liked this video, please like it. Please comment below. I would reply to anyone and everyone. And please share this to anyone who needs to hear about it. I was giving it free to you, so you should pass it on. There is no strings attached, and nobody is getting fooled because I'm only telling you what I look for, and then you can make up your own mind about it. That sounds awesome to me. Join my Discord channel for this weekend only. Everyone who is joining this weekend or is now in my Discord channel will be given the opportunity to talk to me for 1 hour privately. So that's the best offer I can ever give you. My time, specific to you and your situation, nothing else. I will help you with your issues and challenges and potentially make you a better Forex trader. Until next time, don't risk money you cannot afford to lose, and stay safe.